I've been to the most fucked up place on Earth. Twice. The Hermit Kingdom of North Korea.
It's totally insane.
The thing is, when you go to North Korea, you're not a tourist. You're on a government-sanctioned tour. And you can't go anywhere outside your hotel without your guide, your translator, and your secret police. You're also not allowed cell phones, radios, or computers of any kind, and are taken on a tightly scheduled, highly orchestrated tour only of the sites and monuments that they want you to see. So you end up traveling for hours and hours on empty roads only to see the palace of the people, or the library of the people, or the soccer team of the people. The only thing you never get to actually meet is the people of the people. In fact, you're not allowed to talk to anyone unless they're officially sanctioned as part of the tour. So, when I heard that North Korea was actually exporting its own people as a way to generate much-needed hard currency, I wanted to go and see if I could actually talk to them and maybe find out what it's actually like to live inside the Hermit Kingdom. We found out from one of our correspondents in Russia that there were actually secret North Korean labor camps hidden in the depths of Siberia. So we flew to the far eastern region of Russia and hopped on the Trans-Siberian Railway, which is essentially the only lifeline for Siberia and the Far East region.
Her bum was hanging out of her shorts.
We're here in Khabarovsk in Siberia. We're about to get on this train for about 28 hours to go to the middle of nowhere. And we're gonna go check out the secret North Korean labor camps in Siberia.
It's hot as shit.
Simon.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Shane. I'm from America. We're here with our friend Simon. We've been on a train for a long time. We're going a bit goofy. Where are we going?
We're going to Tinda in the Amur region of Russia, in the Far East, to look for the North Koreans.
The thing about this is it's mind-boggling that North Korea, the most hermetic state in the world, the Hermit Kingdom it's actually called, is outsourcing its labor, but they outsource their labor into miniature North Korean villages so you don't ever lose the North Korean experience. So it's like North Korean type buildings, North Korean propaganda, North Korean pictures, North Korean songs.
Yeah.
They wake up and sing the North Korean anthem.
They bring North Koreans in for 3-year contracts. After they're done working here, they get sent back to North Korea. They spend a month in a reintegration camp to get all of the propaganda that they've missed. Most of the workers are over 40 years old, so they all have families back home. So they know that if they try to run away, then their family back home gets in trouble.
The North Koreans are making money to support the regime, and these poor dudes are out there in the middle of nowhere singing God Save Kim Jong-il and working in near slave conditions. This is kind of the only place where you can actually have an entree into how they actually live day to day. Question, are we going to get assassinated for going to talk to the North Koreans?
Quite possibly. People aren't going to be happy to see us, that's for sure.
Why is it that the best stories always take so long to get to?
Because all of the easy to get to ones have been done by programs better than yours.
He's a prickly pear, this guy. He's a prickly pear. You should be British because you're a cunt. Now you have to remember that everything in Siberia, almost without exception, is very, very fucking far away from everything else. And even though it was the height of summer and 100 degrees outside, because it's Russia, the heat gauge on the train had been turned on full and then broken off, probably circa 1971. So the experience is essentially like being trapped on a boiling hot, reeking, drunken sauna 24 hours a day. was a kid, I always wanted to take the Trans-Siberian because it seemed so far away and romantic and freaky. I imagined Tartars and Mongolians cooking in their cabins and trading with Turkmen and Uyghurs for rare and delicate silks. But instead what I got was trees, lots of trees, interspersed with rotten industrial wastelands and then peppered with some failed Stalinist industry. And then, of course, more and more trees. It ended up being stultifyingly boring.
I guess this is pretty romantic. She's nice. She's got some cucumbers. Spasibo. Okay.
My friend.
We're in Shimanovska, in the middle of fucking nowhere. We've been on the train for about 12 hours. Yatube Lublu. Yatube Lublu.
Хорошо.
Okay.
Окей.
This is where we've been staying for the past day and a half. It's very smelly.
Now the problem with these impossibly long distances in Siberia is that there's nothing to do on the train but drink. But your sleeping compartment is so fucking hot that you have to drink in the dining car.
This dining car, this was how the dining cars were in the 50s and 30s and 40s on the Trans-Siberian Express. It's pretty great. First of all, you come into the Oasis, you've got some 3D holographic unicorns. We've got a rearing stallion, quite virile. And over here, you've got vodka. This is just booze, basically. Here we've got Our Lady. Hello. Can we look at your thing? Yatube Lublu.
Спасибо.
Okay.
Hi, America.
And over here, some very important dials. This guy here likes to drink with us. He's good vibes. Look who's come. We're in luck. This is our translator. He was born here in Russia. They lived in North Korea until his mom said, "This is terrible." Came back to Russia. He's been living in Russia ever since. He's going to translate for us, and then hopefully we'll get it all right.
Now I love the dining cars on the Trans-Siberian. The only problem is that there's Russians there getting drunk as well.
Oh shit. Hello. How are you? You okay?
Блять, по-русски, вернее, по-вашему говорить не буду.
This guy's buddy just got arrested by the cops for smashing some shit up.
Да, да.
Вот тебя
They're
засняли.
very
Я
drunk,
не желаю меня.
as opposed to us.
Нет, ты очень близко.
Близко.
Да, очень близко.
Very
Я вот
intimate.
этим глазом вообще
Very
ничего не
intimate,
вижу,
yeah.
только этим.
Только этим.
Да.
Вот так.
Вот так лучше. Да.
Now we got crazy dude here.
Ты не против со мной выпить водки? Почему мне до сих пор, вот видишь, не налито? Что вы за американские?
That's for you here.
Так, давай повежливо.
Братан, ты-то еврей, еще будешь еврею рассказывать, как себя вести, что ли?
It's a very good thing I've taken a Xanax, otherwise I'd be a bit worried about our 17-year-old friend. Cheers.
Честно, учись.
Типа на здоровье.
The interim between sort of mildly friendly drunk and psychopathically pull your eyeball out drunk, there's this sort of level of like, I hate your fucking guts. No, you're okay. We're buddies. We're buddies. We're buddies. I want to kill you. So you've got to stay somewhere in this gauge. Do they think that you're a bit of a pussy for not being a Russian tough guy?
They hate me, essentially.
Oh shit, we're in the tunnels.
Get away.
I'm tickling the birdie.
No, you can't touch me there for $1.
Hello.
Вайс.
Vice.
Золото.
So,
Обменяемся?
yeah.
Говорит, да, да?
He wants to trade you a ring for something.
No.
А вот это?
That's my marriage, my wife.
Да, это от жены.
От жены?
Ну, как бы за это
почему,
свадебное,
а
обручальное.
почему направо?
На левый.
Это не налево. Вот левая рука, а вот правая рука.
С ума сошел?
Смотри. Право, левая.
Вот
Покажи.
она правая,
Ты
Покажи
всё-
вот так вот.
вот она правая, вот она
Да
левая.
схуяли. У меня
Того
вот она.
самого.
He doesn't remember which of his
Я
hands
вот
is
так.
the
Ты какой
left or the
пишешь?
right.
like our Korean guy as all this madness is going on, chaos and everyone's drunk. And I look over at our Korean guy just sort of serenely eating his mayonnaise.
Ты же еврей, я тоже еврей.
Но
Я уже-
между
я
прочим,
уже-
я
я
не
уже
считаю,
хочу
что
быть-
расовая принадлежность очень важная вещь.
Слышишь, он
People are
устали,
turning
да?
into animals.
Things are
over here.
devolving.
Вот слушай своего нерусского друга.
Everyone's up in everybody's shit, and you're like, I got an idea. We're having a few drinks, and meanwhile you got these fucking thugs here with their prison fucking hand tattoos.
Я не понял, чего ты они
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Ты же видишь, ну что ты, братан, ты еврей или как?
How about everyone chill out and we have a nice drink and look at
От меня
the
никакой
countryside?
агрессии не идет.
Хорошо, тогда будем вежливыми, давай.
Is that too much to ask?
Это не наш народ.
Can we not have some sanity?
Сделай.
Hello.
Что ты умираешь?
Да?
Here come the cops. Let's see if the 14-year-old, 5-foot-tall cop is gonna get rid of the drunk guy.
Being totally wasted is so prevalent that they have special booze police whose only job it is to throw drunks off at the nearest station if they get too blind drunk or murdery.
Есть проблема, что вот с этих работ много северных корейцев сбегают, чтобы попасть в Южную Корею.
Ну, вряд ли. Как это называется предательство?
So, after traveling across Siberia on one train deep into the middle of nowhere, we switched to another train going even deeper into the middle of nowhere. And finally, after 2.5 very drunken days on the train, we arrived in Tinda, where the North Korean administrative camp was.
So we just got to Tinda. Some say it's the worst town in all of Russia, most depressing. We're actually gonna try to go to the office that runs all the North Koreans in the region and see if we can ask them some questions. We met this cop on the train. He seemed like a nice guy. He got the thugs away from us when things got a bit drunky. And so he's offered to help us, which is good. Because when we went to the hotel to check in, we didn't check in. Why? Because the FSB, who used to be the KGB, are asking about us, saying, let us know when they check in. So the lady said, I'll let them know, but I'm letting you know that I'm letting them know. So we're like, okay, we won't be staying there. So we stayed in an apartment where the water smelled like gasoline, and now we have a cop that we're gonna bring with us so we seem more official when we go meet the North Koreans. We just got here and we see posters of Kim Il-sung already, and also it says here that they will lay their lives down for the revolution of the great leader Kim Jong-il. What are we waiting for, by the way?
For one of the bosses of the camp. Look, he's got like a Kim Il-sung pin and everything. Ну, можно познакомиться. Я Симон Островский. Это ведущий программы Шейн Смит из Канады. И он очень хотел бы посмотреть, как корейцы здесь живут. Если вы могли бы нас провести, показать нам...
Смысл будет?
Да, потому что для нас это очень, ну, как бы необычно. Мы никогда такого в России не видели, поэтому хотели посмотреть. Мы даже в здание заходить не будем, просто пройтись, покажите нам, как вы живете, расскажите, что вот у нас тут народ живет, вот здесь мы пилим лес, например, вот здесь...
Пилим. Мы здесь сами этим не занимаемся. Начинаю объяснять, но все равно долгая история. Начиная с этого, ну, как бы, начинаем, ну, это... Ну, с технологией все равно.
А есть проблема, что вот с этих работ много северных корейцев сбегают, чтобы попасть в Южную Корею?
Ну, вряд ли.
А это, если было, это наказывается в Северной Корее?
Как это называется предательство? Родился, вырос, его какой-то самый Обучили.
Кормили, обучили.
Да, вот. А мужик стал каким уже? Предателем. Да вот, пошел и убежал.
А что, какое наказание за предательство?
Это я как особо не скажу, как бы я этим не занимаюсь. Короче, насколько я могу объяснить, какой-то ваш какой-то есть, как можно сказать, не принимается.
So the North Koreans don't want us to go into the North Korean camp.
They don't want us to go into the North Korean camp.
It's very surprising. So we came out here to the outskirts of Tinda and we found the North Korean administration camp number 2. Surprise, surprise, they won't let us in, but we're going to go deeper into the interior to find the actual work camps and see if we can talk to some of the dudes. So we're leaving on a one-car train to go to the North Korean camps. It's a one-car train that goes into the middle of nowhere.
It turned out to be a comparatively short 10-hour train ride from Tinda to Dipkun, which was the next town that had a North Korean camp in it. When we finally got there, it was pretty late in the day. We had to move fast if we were going to see the North Korean camp and get back in time before the pitch-black Siberian night fell and stranded us in the forest.
We're sort of in the middle of nowhere, but we're going to try to go to the camp now.
The old chief of police of Dipkun, who we met on the train, had offered to take us out there in his new truck, but was a bit worried about the bridge because it had recently been washed out.
We could take this. This would be awesome. Is this us? So we are in a race against time to go see the North Korean camp. The old chief of police is driving us.
He'd been the chief of police for over a decade and consequently knew the North Korean situation there quite well.
Они очень мало им денег платят, во-первых, они вообще копейки получают.
They get
Во-вторых, их
kopecks.
кормят, вы бы видели
What's kopeck?
само
Pennies.
их существование. Они живут в бараках, вот так вонючие бараки, по
They
несколько
live in smelly
десятков человек.
barracks, like dozens of people all together.
Они вообще бесплатно считаются, бесплатная сила. Вы никогда просто...
Yeah, I know. I think we're getting there.
The bridge is made out of old railway ties. Our buddy, the chief of police, he buys this truck on credit.
Yeah.
And then fucking risks the whole thing by driving across this fucking thing, which he doesn't even know who built it or when.
Maybe we should have taken our stuff off in case he falls into the river.
He's got balls, this guy.
Yeah.
We'll have to buy him some more vodka. Hey!
Oh my God, it's completely been cleared.
So this is our chief of police, and he's breaking into the North Korean camp. I love him.
Сейчас мы незаконно проедем на территорию.
I love this guy so much. This was a whole Korean village.
They had a sign here that said Kim Il-sung lives with us forever.
Because I guess that there have been some people who came, Simon, who's with us being one of them, they've knocked down the camp and they've moved on to the next village down the train line.
This used to have a slogan on it that said Laboratory of Kim Il-sung's Theory. So they've given it over to an entrepreneur to take down, and then his benefit is he gets to sell the spare parts and metal and stuff like that. Let's try to open the door.
This was built by the North Koreans to resemble North Korea. They wanted it to be like a home away from home, and this was the laboratory of Kim Il-sung's theory. So we're gonna go check it out. So this is where they would learn about Juche, the ideals of Kim Il-sung.
The study room was a bit freaky because it had the requisite painting of Mount Baekdu, which I had seen a lot when I was in North Korea, which was where Kim Jong-il was supposed to have been born under a double rainbow as a new star shot into the sky to mark the joyous event. But in actual fact, he was really born in a small log cabin near Khabarovsk, where we had started our journey, while the Soviets trained his dad to be the Stalinist cult of personality leader of Korea after World War II.
So there's a room here filled with Juche ideals. You kind of feel like you've stumbled on a cult house because there's these weird things to make candles and fires and homage to the Juche ideals, and we're finding crazy propaganda stuff because North Korea is a cult of personality. One man runs like a god the country.
It's kind of got this eerie Pompeii feeling about it.
It's such a bizarre concept that there's little North Koreas dotted around Siberia.
This would have been living quarters right here.
Not very nice.
Pure filth.
Very disgusting. There's one of the old dudes. Oh shit.
Oh, that's... he says it's fine.
Are they North Koreans?
No, but it'd be cool if they were,
Yeah.
and they saw us looting.
We're literally getting caught looting right now. All smiles.
Just smile, they'll think you're crazy. Слишком много награбил, не могу даже руку пожать. He says, you want to see a real Korean?
Yeah. We should get the vodka.
Здравствуйте.
Америка, знакомься.
Hello.
Simon. We have to cross the bridge while it's light.
Oh, okay.
어째서 이제 화양을 두고 이먼 추운 시간을 와서 일을 한다.
그래야 뭐 나라에 나무를 내보내기 위해서 우리 들어가서.
Well, I feel bad for the guy because he's obviously terrified, so we'll blur his face.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we should let him know that we'll do that.
Yeah.
When we told him not to worry and that we would blur his face, the North Korean worker relaxed a little and seemed much happier. He also told us that the main part of the workers' group had moved even further up the line, so we got into another train and we kept going.
Hello.
The next morning, we got back onto our one-car train and headed off into the wilderness. Every once in a while, there'd be a break in the trees, and we'd pass these massive logging camps that butted up against the train tracks that were obviously North Korean.
We're on our little train going into the middle of the forest. This is a logging camp run by North Koreans. You can see there's a North Korean flag and North Korean propaganda in here. There's some North Koreans waving at us over there. All this wood is going to England. When we get off this train, we're gonna go out into the camps where they actually log out in the middle of Siberia. Freaky, freaky business.
We finally started to approach our last stop, the tiny logging town of Tatual. Now, Tatual is a freaky place. It's as if the Soviets had come up to the edge of civilization, then dropped off their Stalinist apartment blocks in the middle of nowhere, then gotten back on the train and never looked back. At the train station, we met our new driver, a colorful local type known simply as the Fish.
He just brought a shotgun into the car, just in case.
Dog in the sidecar, dog in the sidecar.
His mouth full of gold teeth and his shiny tracksuit confirmed what we already suspected. The Fish and his crew were the local mob.
They've actually moved here from the camp, the abandoned camp that we visited yesterday, so...
Right, so the camp we were at is done. Now this is the new camp, even further afield.
Right, yeah, we're going to their new camp where they're actually operating now.
And ask him maybe if he thinks that they'll be angry or... And he brought a shotgun.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty useful.
Is this the camp here? So we're here in a North Korean logging camp in the middle of Siberia.
This is where they bring the logs from the forest and put them onto rail cars.
So there's Korean propaganda. There's some Korean writing.
It says, we're going to take action to increase productivity during the winter times.
Okay. Here comes a Russian lady that we're gonna have to.
Doesn't look happy.
Hello.
Почему снимаем?
She immediately made a lot of phone calls and a lot of threats. Should we get arrested?
Yes.
Они мне все суют свои карточки, что они являются там, корреспондентами международными там, и так далее, и так далее. Мне перезвонит.
While we were arguing with her, a van straight out of 1957 pulled up, and lo and behold, out came some North Koreans.
Здравствуйте. Можно нам посмотреть, как вы живете? Скажите ему, что мы слышали, что корейцы тут живут плохо. Мы хотим, чтобы они нам показали, как они живут на самом деле.
Jason's gone AWOL. He's in the camp. Jason's being shuttled back to fucking Pyongyang as we speak.
Jason, our producer, slipped away with a small camera and started filming the camp.
Но мы слышали, что вы плохо живете именно здесь. Мы хотели посмотреть, правда это или нет.
실제 그렇다면 올라가서 저 우리 대표부나 모스크바 대사관에 승인을 받고 와서 우리 사람들 데리고 오라 책임자들 데리고 와서
He's saying we gotta get permission from the embassy before we can show
우리
it.
사람들은 무슨 제일 짓다고 와서 그렇게 촬영을 하면서 그러냐? 바꿔놓고서 당신네 보고 내가 원하지 않는데 당신네 집이 뒤가서 당신네 집 보고 왔다 그러면 당신네 좋은가 지금? 당신들 다 알다시피 우리 집 인민생활 올해 인민생활 향상과에서 다 촉매진하고 있으니까 우리 인민생활 향상을 위해서 모두가 다 쫓아나서 지금 거기 다 기여하고 있다는 거. 다 개고 나가서 다 자기 집, 자기 부모들이나 자기 자식들한테 그 생활이 다 누려진다는 거. 다른 거 없다는 거 그게. 우리 저기 지금 다 지금 드립을 봐서 알지 않습니까? 우리 저기 지금 어떻게 지금 번영하고 있다는 거. 그래서 그렇지 다른 거 없다는 거. 그리고 수고술이 이곳이 어제는데 우리는 현재 원하지 않는다는 거.
Now, what he was saying was a revelation. We had come all this way so we could actually talk to North Koreans, and one of the first ones we met was admitting that the standard of living was a problem in the home country, which would never be admitted to in North Korea proper. In fact, when the political boss stepped in, he also admitted to living a hard life, but of course, he blamed it on America.
당신이 우리 힘들다 어렵게 산다 이랬는데 물론 어렵게 산다. 왜? 미국 아들이 우리 못살게 자꾸 쌀 들어오고 맞고 기니까 다 우리 아는데 저거하고 똑같이 사니까 그런 거 걱정하지 말고 당신의 생각이나 알아. 우리 자꾸 안 못살게 하지 말고.
왜곡하고 비방하고 그렇기 때문에 우리 그런 걸 원하다. 우리 그런 걸 넣게 했다는 거. 그렇기 때문에 원하지 않는다는 거. 당신네 미안한 대로 수고술이 먼 데서 왔는데 실제 우리는 그거 원하지 않는다. 언제 우리 그럴 수 없다. 우리는 일하러 갔다는 거.
이분이 조선의 두건 같아요. 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다. Okay. So they won't let us in. You know, they don't want to get in trouble, which is understandable. So they're kicking us out. We're going to try to go to the forest to actually find some North Korean workers who are actually cutting down the trees.
After getting kicked out of the logging camp, we headed into the forest in search of actual loggers. The fish knew all the lumber hotspots, and after some very lurchy driving, he found us a working cadre deep in the forest.
This guy's really going to want to talk to us. Maybe I should soften it up a bit with the shotgun before we get out so they know we mean business.
Good idea.
After our heated words at the logging camp, we decided to try to irrigate the conversation with the universal tongue loosener, booze.
맥주.
You want a beer? Hello. 반갑습니다. You don't want a beer? Here.
마시.
근데 이 우리 사람들
하나도 있습니다.
이 골목 나무 베는 거.
Dude's got an iron bar there. Watch his back. How long have they been working here?
몇 년 되는 거? 가게 하시는 사람들마다.
아니,
네, 이게 오는도
And do they live out here?
산속에서 이 빵 쳐가지고.
And how long do they have to stay here before they can go back home?
3년 있다가 집에 쉬가 나가는 사람도 있고 완전 기구하는 사람도 있고. 끝나고 그다음에 기대공들 무슨 턱고, 트럭도, 자동차 이런 기대공들은 쉬가 나갔다 들어오고. 그다음에
나무 베는 사람들은 벌목하는 사람들은
그래 톱고 톱하는 사람들하고 그런 사람들 나오고 그다음에 혹시 일 잘하는 기능공들 그런 사람들도 휴가 갔다 오고.
아 근데 3년 있다가 나가는 사람은 어떤 사람들?
그러니까 무기능공들이라고 말해야지. 그러니까 될줄은 우리는 기동들을 고착시키자 좀 오래 좀 더 두자 하는 그 10년 주기를.
So what he's saying here is that the majority of workers have a 10-year plus labor commitment to live and work out in the middle of nowhere for almost no pay. And when we asked him about days off, he seemed confused.
휴일이 딸려 있어요?
네?
휴일이.
휴식이.
휴일. 휴일. 뭐
네.
쉰 날이 딸려 있는 거야.
아니 좀.
Его заставили сюда приехать или он по собственному желанию?
Просто интересно.
А что, не надо?
Не, я просто я задам. 여기가 겨울이 춥지요? 이러면 또 모기 많지.
목이 깔다고 완전히 곤충이 얼마나 많은지.
그런데도 이제 뭐 휴가 가서 또 돌아왔는데 그 오게 될 때 뭐 자기가 뭐 지원해서 자발적으로 왔는 거 그러자면 이제 쪽에서 말하자면 명령을 내려서 알고 싶다고. 조개 돕는 그런 의미에서
그럼 우리
밤마가
통나무로.
And are they happy to be here?
좋을 게 뭐니까.
좀 돈을 더 벌.
돈을 더 벌자고 말하면 안 되지 뭐.
Here comes a van. We were talking to our North Korean friends,
카나다에서 일 투자한다.
and they're now coming
알겠지.
to get us. Who are these guys?
Ah, it's the guy in the blue jacket who we talked to. Oh, he's the secretary of the party organization here.
So the secretary of the party organization has come. They're gonna be told not to talk to us.
근데
great
저
here.
뭐야 그냥 가갔다 그랬는데 여기까지 만들어.
아니 이 사람들은 벌목장을 보자고.
아 이제 볼목장보다는 안 나갔다 그랬으면 뭐야 그만둬야지 왜 그렇게 몰래 하나? 예? 다 당신네도 사람한테는 물어보고 하는데 당신도 기자라면 다 인텔이 가는데 지성인이 가는데 당신네 한번 그렇게 약속했으면 약속한 대로 해야지. 우리가 여기 이만한 지역에서 우리가 작업장을 집이나 같은데 왜 거기 자꾸 보갔다거나 당신네. 한번 약속했으면 약속한 대로 그렇게 하는 거고 우리가 원하자는 일을 왜 자꾸 그렇게 하겠다. 아까 모순이 많은데 왜 여기 가서 자꾸 그러나 미국이라면 다른 나라 보고 지금 자꾸 못되게 노는 것도 있고 다 그런데 왜 우리 보고 와서 자꾸 그런 거 찍어서 뭘 어쩌는구나. 아까 왜 내가 사진 찍는 거 원하지 않는데 찍지 말라 좀 계십시오. 나 가다 다스비다네.
Фильм не о том, как работать, как о вашем.
Почему ты хочешь? Машина работает.
Почему? А почему ты так себя ведешь? Нехорошо.
Ты тутал капитан Кабарида?
Я тут капитан?
Можно, да?
А, ты мой капитан говорить? Можно, да.
He's really angry.
Тиндале서 капитан Тумайда.
Let's give it
Я
time.
сейчас поговорю.
He's saying he's going to tell the Tyndall-less captain boss that this guy's helping us out. He's trying to scare him.
It was right around here that things got a bit tense.
Yeah, these guys are coming back here. The dude with the crowbar is coming back.
찍지 말라. 찍지 말라.
아니.
We'd finally found our North Koreans deep in the bush and were busy talking to them when things started to get a bit hairy.
Yeah, these guys are coming back here. The dude with the crowbar is coming back.
찍지 말라. 찍지 말라.
아니 저 출장이 나서 우리를 찍는데.
He says, what is that, your off switch?
소표로 트라크터 소표로 이제 삐지대 이거.
He says, I use it for fixing tractors.
소표로.
I like the fish more and more. He took the crowbar from him and said, "What is that, your off switch?" And two North Koreans came back. Now they're giving Mr. Kim shit. And they're quite angry. So we're probably going to have to get out of here.
브라타 있니? 저쪽 하나 벌 적당 떠났다는 자체가 우리한테 안 되니까 절대 우리한테 성립이 안 되는 일이니까.
And so, oh shit, here comes another truck. Now we're surrounded. They've got a truck up there. They've got a truck behind here. What'd he say?
He said he came to tell us that he doesn't want us filming anymore and he's come to block the road.
Really? All right, well, let's go find another crew. Let's go. The fish is the boss.
As the fish took us further into the forest on these rutted dirt tracks, the atmosphere in the truck got a little bit goofy because of the lunacy that was being played out in the oddest game of low-grade cat and mouse I've ever seen.
Ask them how we get home. We're in a high-speed car chase at 5 miles an hour through the wilds of Siberia. They're stopping. We go to try to pass them, and then they speed up. We sort of go on a side road, and then they head us off at the pass. It's a game of chicken out in the middle of nowhere.
Вот этот, кстати, водитель, он у них, как получается, тоже не последний человек. За мной же контроль будет жесточайший.
Черный список попадает.
Да. Ну, я в черном списке уже очень давно.
The fish soon tired of this game and suggested we pull over for some lunch, which consisted of paprika chips, bread, vodka, and a shotgun.
Чуть выше. Ковбой.
Ковбой.
Да.
North Koreans are like, what the fuck kind of journalists are these? Well, we found our North Koreans. Now let's get wasted and shoot off guns with the mafia. I hit it, but I didn't break it.
It turned out there was method in the fish's madness, because our lunchtime shooting party seemed to have cowed the North Koreans just enough to get us out of the wilderness, which was very good, because the all-menacing Siberian darkness was fast approaching. When we finally got to town, they, of course, were waiting for us.
And the North Korean security dude just showed up and he won't leave us alone. And he's just standing there trying to look at our passports and trying to see all of our stuff. He's trying to be scary.
Запоминаете?
And when we got on the train and said our teary goodbyes to the fish, we realized that half the one-car train was our crew and the other half were North Koreans.
That was the captain of the camp.
Correct.
So we locked ourselves into our compartment and spent the night backing up our hard drives and hiding all of our footage, which turned out to be wise because we were met back in Tinda by the FSB, the local militia, the North Koreans, and some plainclothes detectives who promptly detained us.
So they asked us a lot of questions and they kept asking us about the pipeline. Are you here to shoot the pipeline? Are you here to shoot the pipeline? We're like, we don't know anything about a pipeline. We're here to shoot North Koreans. They knew about the Russian cop who had taken us to the North Korean camp. They knew about the chief of police in the north. Simon refused to be intimidated, and he said, if you want to ask me any questions, ask me here. I'm not going with you. I'm not going away with you. They finally let us go. We freaked out a little bit, grabbed our stuff, and took off.
We quickly hired a car and made a break for the Chinese border. When we finally got to the border, we realized that part of the reason for all this panic and fear on the North Korean and Russian side was that Kim Jong-il, who almost never leaves North Korea, had secretly come to the same place we were, the Amur region of Russia, coincidentally at the exact same time we were there, to hold talks with President Medvedev about more trade and labor agreements between the two countries. So, this means that while we were there, the great leader was selling even more of his people off so he could make even more money, so he could make more weapons, so he could extort more food and aid and supplies from America and Japan, who he's technically still at war with. And this, better than almost anything I can think of, sums up the lunacy of the modern world. Thank you, and good night.
왜 빠지 먹지 말라는데?
Yeah.